I want you to envision that you're going on a trip, an airplane trip, and you're at the airport. You've now boarded the plane, and one of the flight attendants comes to your seat and says, the pilot didn't show up. You're going to fly the plane today. Okay? No option. This is what you're going to have to do. I'm going to take you to the cockpit. And so you go to the cockpit, you sit down, you get all the levers there and all the instruments there, and you have no idea. You've never flown a plane before. You have no concept of what any of these instruments are. And the assignment is you're going to fly all these passengers to the next destination. If you're like me, and I knew that I had to do it, my next question would be, how? Okay. I need some information to know how to do it. If I've got to do this, then someone please get in my ear and give me some instructions so that I'll know exactly how to fly this plane. Now let me just take it a step further. What if I said to that person, well, that's great, I'll try to fly it, but will you show me how? And the response was, just figure it out. Just figure it out. Now let's bring this over into marriage for a moment. That's the way a lot of marriages start. Two people go into a marriage and they have no clue what they're doing because they've had very little instruction, if any at all. And they say, well, how do you do marriage? I don't know. Just figure it out. Figure it out. And here's what happens. Because we're trying to figure it out, anytime you're trying to figure anything out, you make a lot of mistakes, do you not? You don't know what you're doing. So you make a lot of mistakes. So here's the scenario. This is going to help somebody today. In the early years, especially of marriage, there's a lot of mistakes made. And when the mistakes made, there are people involved, and a lot of hurt happens early on in marriages. That's why some of those painful years of a marriage are the early years of a marriage, because they're trying to figure it out, okay? And they're hurting each other in the process. And sadly, what happens is, it's not very long. A year goes by, 2 years go by, 5 years go by, and they haven't figured a whole lot of stuff out, but there's still a whole lot of pain that both people now are carrying inside of them, because the husband's been trying to figure out how to make her happy, and she's been trying to figure out how to make him happy, and ain't nobody happy, okay? And they've got all this pain inside of them, and what begins to happen sooner or later is fingers start pointing at one another. Well, the problem must be him, or the problem must be her. And walls begin to form, and you have very quickly a lot of built up pain in a relationship that if you don't work on it and work through it, it creates emotional divorce, if not actual divorce.